Hi, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. I've got a pick a card here today for you. I'm sorry I missed last week. I only posted once. I didn't post any pick a card. But we've got a pick a card here today. Yay. Last week was really busy for me, so I apologize. But today we're going to focus on fear and what fears have maybe been presenting themselves and you just haven't really been able to put it together, or you've been not really able to acknowledge this fear, where this fear is coming from, right? So the entire reading really is going to be focused on fear and what fears maybe you're avoiding, with the intention really of how to get these fears gone, more or less, how to work on these fears so that you can unblock yourself in these aspects and help yourself move forward. Without fear. Okay, I do feel like a lot of people believe that there's only two real emotions, and that's fear or love, and every other emotion can be kind of categorized within the two. But for a lot of our lives, we do miss out on things because of fear in certain aspects, not in all aspects, but definitely in certain aspects. So I do feel like it's always important to kind of address your fears and use tarot as well to kind of guide you and give you clarity on what fears maybe you're not acknowledging, or maybe you don't think they're a fear, but they are. So that's what we're going to do today. Sorry, I talked your ear off there for a second. So we've got pile number 1 here with the rubber ducky. We've got pile number 2, which is the Tazama African Tarot deck with the ladybug. And then this is the Star-Kissed Tarot deck made by Tarot Skills. So go ahead and take a pause, take a deep breath, and choose your deck. I'll put the timestamps down below, okay? Hello, pile number 2. I hope you're doing well today. This is for everyone that chose the rubber ducky or the Star-Kissed Tarot deck by Tarot Skills, or by Grace. Grace is her name. I like Grace. I had a meeting with her. She's amazing. So I recommend everyone this deck just because it was made with a lot of intention, a lot of love. So yeah, okay. See what fears are blocking you right now, what fears are being presented, what fears this fear want you to maybe acknowledge a little bit more. Let's get into that, and then we'll pull some cards and oracle cards towards the end for how to kind of work on this fear. Okay, we got the 6 of Wands, so we got the Death card here, the 6 of Wands. We've got the Strength card in reverse. Okay. We've got, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse here. The Queen of Cups. We got the 3 of Cups in reverse with the Death card. We've got the King of Cups in reverse. Of course, we got the Queen and the King of Cups. We got the Temperance in reverse. We got the Page of Wands in reverse. And notice how, every time I flip it over, the bottom deck is upright. So it's interesting. King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. You might be going through something with a couple different people with just both of the Kings and the Queen coming up. But we're going to get into it. The bottom deck energy is actually the Ace of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles, which I do feel like is exactly what they're kind of talking about in regards to your fears. So overall, with the Death, the 3 of Cups in reverse, right? So it does say here excessive expectations, and that is a lot of what the 3 of Cups can represent. But the 3 of Cups in reverse can also represent you feeling really dim, really down, really like you don't have a community, you don't have people to celebrate with, there's nothing to celebrate, in your life. And with the Death, though, that's where they're kind of saying when one door shuts, another opens. And with the 3 of Pentacles the 3 of Cups in reverse, there's definitely this feeling of scared to end this because you're afraid of losing the community, or you're afraid of losing what the celebration, the excitement, the glee. Maybe though it's already ended. If it has already ended, it feels as though you are very sad over the fact that this has ended, right? Over the fact that this community is no longer yours, your friends, what have you. Honestly, it feels like with the Death and the Three of Cups in reverse, and then with the Six of Wands in reverse and the King of Cups in reverse, it feels like you are going through some sort of breakup, friendship, romantically, with your family, breakup with your family maybe, or like a break from your family, right? But it feels more or less like you are holding on very heavily to the fact that you've lost a community. It feels very much that is a huge fear, that like walking away from your family, walking away from this person, if you haven't done so already, a huge fear is losing that community, losing that emotional support system, feeling like a failure as well. That's also a fear presenting itself. But there's this sense of like with the Death card here of like the new beginning is inevitable. I do feel like in a lot of ways you're almost afraid to end this, or end this connection and end it with this person. It could even be that you're not even talking to this person, but you're still very emotionally attached to this person. With the Temperance in reverse and the Strength in reverse, I don't like to think of it as like you don't want to heal, but I like to think of it in a sense of like with the Temperance in reverse, it's almost a sense of like external things are causing so much distraction that it's preventing you from healing as deeply as you could, right? With the Strength in reverse as well, there's this sense of you not knowing your own strength, not knowing your own skills, your own confidence, your own abilities, and just how powerful you are. But there's also this sense of like you're tired. You're fucking tired. You fought your fight, and it feels like it didn't win. And it feels like with the Six of Wands, there's this sense of like everything is so unsuccessful. Nothing I do is right. I'm a failure. With the Temperance in reverse, it's very much like I don't have all of what it takes to get through this. I don't have what it takes to be this sort of person or to do these sorts of things. There's a lot of convincing yourself of how unworthy you are right now, of how you can't end this because you're not worthy of something better, that you can't walk away from this person, this relationship, this friendship, this family connection, whatever it is. It could even be a relationship with a job or a business partner as well, but it feels very much like ending that is so scary to you because you're losing your support system, because and I want to offer a little bit of a different perspective. Are they really your support system though? Because I get this sense really deeply that they're not, that part of the reason you want to walk away is because of the toxicity or because of the way they make you feel. With the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and the Page of Wands in reverse, it's very much like you go in circles and circles and circles. It feels very much like you're at this rut in your life where it's like you're doing the same thing, whether it's a relationship, a job, whatever it is. It's like you're doing the same thing, you're not seeing results. But with the Page of Wands in reverse, there's this sense of wanting it to happen, right? There's this like, I want to go on this adventure. I'm so curious about this new beginning. I want these things to end, but there's so much fear of it ending, and there's so much fear of what's to come that it's very much like, no matter what I do, I'm not going to see it. No matter what I do, I'm not going to get back what I want. It's, this isn't what I want. And I think that's a huge message for you right now. Although it isn't what you want, it's happening already. It is something that I think you've also asked for over the years. I do think that although ending this connection, this relationship, job, business partner, whatever it is, although the ending is so scary, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. You learned, number one, therefore you can't fail if you've learned something from it. But additionally, there's this sense of like, empowerment that you will get through this ending that's going to push you into this new perspective. You're in a rut. It feels like everything in your life, it feels like, or not everything, but a lot in your life, it feels like it's not going to change. It's going to be stagnant. You're never going to get out of this rut. You're never going to, be the type of person that has this or that has that, right? It could be a relationship. It could be a lot of money. It could be a house. It could be going to travel the world. But it feels like right now, your biggest fears are not just ending this, but like you're almost reiterating your fears with the things that you feel like you can't do that you've always wanted to do. So, on top of giving yourself a lot of fear of failure or feeling a lot of fear of failure right now, you're also feeding your fear very heavily through your negative core beliefs and trying to convince yourself in a very subconscious way that, this is what you deserve. You deserve this ending. You deserve for this person to hurt you. You didn't deserve the pain, the trauma, any of that. No. And when it comes to the ending, this is an ending, honestly, that I feel like you asked for. This is something that you haven't been happy with for a long time. And now that it's coming to an end, and now that you're really being faced with the possibility of change, it's scary because you're comfortable with it. You're used to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important that you recognize and realize you already know deep down you are worthy of more than what this is giving you. And that's why you asked to get out of it. That's why you asked for something new. That's why you were asking the universe for change. And if you're like, but I wasn't, ask yourself very subconsciously those questions. Were your actions truly matching up with the things that you were saying in regards to the situation, in regards to this person, or whatever it is, this ending, right? There's this sense of like, in some way you also have to take off your rose-colored glasses and be a little bit more honest with yourself in regards to how this is affecting you. It doesn't mean that, you guys will never, if it's with another person, it doesn't mean you won't come back together and find peace and contentment in your connection and relationship. Life is so chaotic and all over the place and random, and the possibility of you reconnecting with the person or the people, the job, whatever it is, the possibility of you reconnecting and finding peace later on in life isn't impossible at all. But right now you're not happy. And right now you're only happy because of the comfort and because of the community you've gotten through this person or people or this job, what have you. But you are very unhappy, right? We've got the Temperance and the Strength in reverse, the Page of Wands in reverse. Where's your motivation? Where's your drive? Where's your determination, your curiosity, your adventure, your passion? It feels like you're so exhausted with life overall right now. You don't have the time for that. And this ending is providing you with the path you need to start feeling a lot more fulfillment. And it's not easy. It's not going to be fun at first. Like, there is this feeling of like, it is going to hurt and it is going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. But the thing is that you did want this change. You wanted yourself to feel more. You wanted to feel as though it was actually worth something, that it's fulfilling. And contrary to what all of these spiritual content creators say, including myself, it isn't sunshine and roses. It took me 2 years to build my following on TikTok and get enough clients and be able to do enough live streams that I'm able to pay my bills. That's all though. I'm able to pay my bills. And I love that, and I'm so grateful for that. But it took me 2 years. It took time, it took dedication, it took effort, it took endings, it took beginnings, it took failed endings, and failed beginnings, both. It took going back into the cycle. So there's I guess what I'm saying here is that you don't have to get so trapped up in the sense that nothing will ever go right. It is hard right now, and you are in a lot of fear. There are a lot of endings, but these endings, through time, effort, and intention, these endings can become incredibly powerful new beginnings. And that's kind of where you're at. You have the choice right now to decide how this is going to end and how something new is going to begin. And not in the sense of like, I imagine this, that's, going to happen to a T. But right now you're in a freedom without recognizing you're in freedom. You do have a way out. You have a way to, starting at scratch. You have a way of starting at the foundation. And that's what you need to do right now, because if you start at that foundation, you're able to build yourself back up. You're able to build yourself back up in the ways that you actually want, in the ways that you feel are going to be the most fulfilling for you. And don't get me wrong, things are going to be there still, and there's still going to be things you're going to have to heal from. But the biggest blessing here is that you're going to get back your drive. You're going to get back your motivation, and like I said, the bottom of the deck being the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles with the Empress as well right under there. So they're really saying your effort, your intention, your skill building, along with your passion, is creating a life in a world of a ton of abundance for you in the future. And it's the same with me. You know, there's aspects in my life where, like, my love life is still horrible, but then I look at my career and I've put so much intention, so much effort. I've given it time. I've let it go. I've worked hard consistently, but I've also not attached myself to this major outcome of like what I need it to be. And I've seen myself grow so much substantially over the last like year, 2 years, and everything. You know, if you would have told me 2 years ago while I was finishing up my social work degree that in 2 years I could work and make passive income through something I really love, I wouldn't have believed you. But I did, and I managed to, and it wasn't always easy, and I didn't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but I understood and recognized that the endings, as scary as they are a brand new door. And it wasn't that I realized them in the moment, or I realized them right away. It took me time, and it took, you know, really looking at things. But once I started to really realize that and accept that, I was no longer afraid of these endings. I was no longer afraid of letting people or things go, because I know that they will come back to me if they're meant for me. And I also know that what is meant for me, I decide. You know, like, of course there are soul contracts. So I don't want you to take that word for word, because there are soul contracts and there are external things and stuff that do, you know, make up more or less how your manifestations come in. But overall, your perception it makes up a lot of what comes into your life. Like, you can control a lot of what's happening through your perception. Not everything, but a lot. And to end that off there, though, we got this Queen of Cups, we got this King of Pentacles, right, in reverse. So with the King of Pentacles in reverse, they want you to recognize, number one, Queen of Cups, your intuitive abilities, your intuitive feelings, your intuitive nudgings, those right there are what you need to listen to and guide you. With the King of Pentacles in reverse, there is a lot of lack of security around you right now, or coming. The lack of a foundational security, or the lack of stability, isn't necessarily a lack. They're really saying you're just in a phase, you're just in a time where you have to trust your intuition, where things around you in the 3D physically are going to break. You know, things are going to become unstable. Things are not going to be as stable as they were, as secure as they were. But with the Queen of Cups, you've got your intuition, you've got your emotional discernment, and you've got your feelings yourself in order to guide you through this. You don't need the security of what you had in the 3D, because you have your own emotional security, your own emotional intuitiveness, and your own emotional being that's able to guide you. Okay, let's pull a couple oracle cards of advice for you. Wow, the cards didn't want to come up today. Okay. There they are. Oops, did I use this? Let's get two. Ooh, the sacred ritual. Dedication, wonder, and reward. Rituals can be of great worth to us. They help move our consciousness forward into the present moment, grounding us in who we are and who we become. Try committing to 7 days of a new ritual, no matter how big or small. That's the card if you wanted to pause and take a look at any of the symbolism there. And there's the message. And then the other card says the Sun Tree, warmth, connection, and life. Nature offers our souls unlimited nourishment. Today, feel the heat of the sun on your skin, speak to a tree, or marvel at the sound of the river. Dig your toes into the rich earth and feel yourself connected to the world around you. Okay, pile one, thank you for joining me. I hope that this reading gave you clarity. I really hope that you do recognize your power and your strength. And I know endings are so difficult and so hard, but you really are on your way to a really beautiful world. And it might still take pain, it might still take time, and it might still take a process, but you are deepening yourself into an energy, into a place of just deeper emotional fulfillment. And I feel like that's been something you've been begging for a long time. So definitely try to look at this as a very positive change in your life rather than negative. Bye, pile number one. Hi, pile number 2. How are you? I hope you're doing well. This is for everyone that chose the little ladybug. I kept wanting to say dragonfly, and I was like, that's not a dragonfly. That's not a dragonfly. This is the Tazma African Tarot deck. Excited to use it again today. Pile number 1 was a very interesting read. Let's see what your fears are at the moment. Their fears was definitely the ending of something, a connection, a job. We'll see if yours is similar. If that does sound like it will resonate, you're always more than welcome to go back to pile number 1 and check that reading out too. Okay. Okay, pile number 2, let's see. I pre-shuffled the other deck, but this one I hadn't, so I just wanted to make sure, give it a good shuffle. Let's see, pile number 2, what's up? What's going on? What are your fears right now? What messages do they have about your fears? That was a whole pile, so we're not going to take 5 at once, but we will take 2. We got the King of Wands, which has flashed multiple times. We've also got the Four of Swords. Okay. So right off the bat with that, you might be someone that is really afraid to take action. You might be really indecisive right now in how to take action and what to take action in. But there's definitely this sense, yeah, King of Wands and the King of Swords, but we've got this Four of Swords in the middle there, right? So we're really overthinking. And we're kind of with the King of Wands, we're wanting to take action, but with the Four of Swords, we're contemplating and thinking, how do we take action, right? The King of Swords is telling us how to make that practical plan, how to use our action with our head, which is usually a very good thing, but you know, this coming out as a fear, reading, and in regards to fear, there's a sense that you're afraid to make the change, to take the action. You might be in a relationship, you might be at a job, you might be in a college, in a community, in an apartment, wherever it is, where you're feeling like it's not leading you anywhere. It feels like with the King of Wands, King of Swords, and Four of Swords, you're very, very contemplative in how to move forward with your life. And you're very afraid, number 1, with that Ace of Pentacles, of this new beginning, of where to put your effort, of where to put your seeds, of where to plant your seeds, of how to use your action. It's almost like you're afraid of taking the action to change. It's not that you're afraid of thinking about it, because with the King of Swords and the Four of Swords, sorry, I choked on my saliva there. If you heard, I was like talking very fast and my saliva like went to the back of my throat. But with this Ace of Pentacles, okay, as well, there's just this sense of like, you know, I'm afraid of where to put my eggs. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket, but I don't know where this new beginning is, this new start is. But I know that what I'm doing right now is not where I'm meant to be. It's not what I'm meant to be doing, and I don't want it. Like, there's kind of this sense of, with the King of Wands, of like knowing for sure that you need to take action. But with the Four of Swords and the King of Swords, it's very much like, well, we're going to sit and we're going to overthink it, and I'm going to think about what I need to put all of my pentacles in, or what I want to put my pentacles in, but I'm not going to take the action to go forward and do so. I'm going to contemplate it, and I'm going to think about it and think about it and think about it until I go crazy in my head, and then I feel really frustrated with myself because I haven't done anything yet. That's what it feels like. Let me grab some cards fell on the ground. Okay, we got the Seven of Pentacles. We got the Page of Cups. And then we got, the Magician in reverse with the King of Swords. Did any more fall on the ground? Okay. Oh, wait. I think one fell over there. Hold on. I'll shuffle one more and then I'll get it up. Okay. Four of Pentacles with that Ace of Pentacles. The Justice with the Ten of Swords in reverse, yeah. We're afraid to take action. We're afraid to take action in what we want. I think there's this fear of like, in some way rejection almost. Bottom of the deck, interest. You guys, what? Okay, I'm sorry. The bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. You guys, look at what was at the bottom of the deck for the last pile. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. Yes. Look, this was at the bottom of the deck for the last pile. Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So definitely go back and check pile number 1 if you're feeling called to, because that's crazy. That's insane to me. You guys are having very different fears, but very similar fears in the sense of like starting over, starting something new. Where to put, like, the fear you're having isn't a sense of like walking away. It feels a sense of like where to go next, of like, there isn't this sense of like, I have to cut off these things or I have to leave behind all these things. You might, but it doesn't feel like you're so afraid of that or you're scared of that. It feels like you're afraid of making the wrong first move in regards to like this new step or this new thing that you want to do. That honestly, it's feeling, look at that. The Ace and Page of Cups is right there with the Four of Swords. Here's the thing with this, all of it. With the Four of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Cups, I really don't get a sense of like love from someone else, romantic love. I get a sense of you really contemplative in what makes you feel good and what fulfills you and what brings you happiness. With the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups, it's very much like, what's filling your cup of love? Is your cup of love being fulfilled in a fulfilling way, in a depth? Like not just surface level, I guess is what I'm saying. It feels like in some way, a lot of the things you're doing, a lot of the people you're entertaining, it feels like it can be very surface level. Like, you know, you give them a little bit, they give you a little bit, but it's never deep. It's never fulfilling, I guess. And with the Seven of Pentacles and the King of Wands, I get the sense that you've done a lot of projects lately. You've tried a lot of things over the last like year or 2 years, and it feels like maybe nothing has like stuck. But I feel like there's this major change that you know the reason why. So this could have been that you got out of a relationship. This could be that you're in, like, let's say you live in your hometown and you love your hometown and you love the people in it, but you realize and recognize that you want to be a fashion photographer and your hometown is not providing you with those opportunities. So there's this sense of like, I know I need to leave, I know I need to move, or you've already in some way decided that you were going to, and now you're at the stage where it feels like you're confused in where to put your eggs. Where do I put my eggs in the basket? You're very afraid to actually take that step. Although mentally, with the King of Swords and the Magician in reverse, mentally you've made that step. Mentally you're there. Mentally you've already figured out that you know you're on to the next step, that this was holding you back, this was keeping you stagnant. But what now is keeping you stagnant is your fear of where to put your energy, your fear of where to go, of what to do. With the Four of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Cups, there could also be this energy of like, maybe you want to go traveling and there's someone that you want to go visit, but you do kind of need to make amends. You know, it's a very, very niche comment there, but there is, for a certain select amount of people, there is this energy that you do also want to see people or see things, do things, but there's this sense with that Four of Swords that you have to really contemplate it. You have to contemplate reaching out, you have to contemplate going there, and part of it is your overthinking. But I also think with the Magician in reverse, part of it is you not believing you have what it takes. I think that beforehand you would get really comfortable. Okay, this is what it feels like. It feels like in your group of friends or in your environment, you're seen as like the adventurous, curious, you know, the one that's going to do it, the one that's going to go and take the action and see the results of their labor. You know, the fruits of their labor are going to be seen. But it feels like in reality, you have a very deep-seated fear that you're not good enough for all those things. It's easy to be in an environment or to be with a person or be at a job where they build you up and they make you feel like you are so good at these things, which is important, as they should, but you don't deep down feel that way. So now that you're faced with this, okay, well, now I'm leaving, or now I'm doing something new, there's this sense of fear of like, did I make the right decision? Did I put my eggs in the right basket? Where am I putting my energy? It's very much like you're stagnant in your action, but you're not stagnant in your overthinking, right? You're not fearful of this next step. You're fearful of how to, of more, how to get to that next step, or more like what to do in that next step, right? Like, okay, you've decided you're going traveling, and now you're to the point where it's like, I've decided that, I know I've decided that, I know I need to do that, I know I'm going to do that, but I'm really afraid as to like how to do it. I don't know where to start. I'm confused. I don't know if this is actually going to work. What if I end up there and I start traveling and I end up in this country and then I don't like it and then I want to come home? There's a lot of that. And with the King of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, it's a lot of like the things you're doing in your life. I almost feel like you're repeating, you're going in circles to kind of prove to yourself or reiterate to yourself that, right, you couldn't do this. You can't go on that path. With the Ten of Swords in reverse, though, and the Justice here, that's where it's very much like the stagnancy is ending. It's already like you're already moving. You're already putting your eggs into another basket. You're deciding right now what to put those eggs in, if that makes sense, right? Like there's a lot of fear just around, am I doing the right thing? Is this going to work? Is this going to happen the way that I want? And it's the overthinking that's causing you to have more overthinking, if that makes sense. It's the overthinking that's causing the fear. It's you with the King of Wands and Seven of Pentacles, you have what it takes. The Seven of Pentacles, you have the skills. You've done enough in your garden to plant the seeds, and you're impatient and you're waiting for the fruits of your labor, but you have the skills. So you have the skills, you have the action. But with the Four of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Cups, it's you who's sitting there, who's contemplating your own cup of love, who's contemplating what you put your energy into, what you get your energy from, how am I going to go on to this next step, right? And with the King of Swords and the Magician in reverse, it's very much like, well, I don't think I have all that I need. But that's the key word, think. And Spirit's saying, no, you do have all that you need. You know that you're on this new beginning. You know that there is a next step, a leap of faith that is happening, a shift and a change. But there is, with the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles, you're holding on really heavily. You're holding on to what this new beginning is. You're holding on to that coin, and you're not planting that seed to allow that seed to grow. So the longer you hold on to this seed, the longer you hold on to this intention without putting effort into it and giving it time, the seed is never going to grow. The seed is always just going to stay there in your head and be overthought and overthought and overthought. But you have to let it go while simultaneously putting in a consistent amount of effort and giving it time. The time is really the letting it go, but consistent effort you still have to do. And so what I mean by that is, like, for example, I do tarot, and I pretty much live off of the money I make through tarot. It's not just readings, I have a lot of different passive incomes, and I also do other things like Instacart and stuff. But for a long time I did overthink, and I did hold on to this idea that I could never do that. I could never be self-employed through something like this, right? And so I'd go in circles and circles and circles, and I would overthink where to put my energy in order to bring the most success or the most victory in this self-employment. And that's where, I went wrong a lot, is that once I kind of let it go and was like, it's going to go where it's going to go. I'm going to keep doing what I'm going to, what I'm doing. And it's going to take off one day. I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm just going to put my readings out there, my intentions out there. And if 2 people follow me, great. If 100 million follow me, great, but it wasn't about that. It was about setting my intention, putting in the consistent effort of like, okay, posting videos, getting my work out there, but also giving it time to grow, giving the universe time to let people see it. And, and that's important to remember. And it's hard to remember that when we are in the overthinking phase. But with the Ten of Swords and the Justice here, karma is on your side. The universe is on your side. Balance wants to be had. The Ten of Swords in reverse, we're coming out of stagnancy. So, try not to hold yourself back from the potential that you have to go forward, your powerfulness, or you are so powerful, I guess is what I'm saying, and you can generate a lot of what you actually want, but you're kind of holding yourself back through your own fear of not knowing what to put anything in. It's like you have to know what to put your energy into in order for it to go well. And Spirit's saying that's not how it works. You're fearing, like by fearing all of this, you're not putting energy into anything. Therefore, nothing as well is going to blossom. Okay, let's get some oracle cards for you. Okay, that was fast. This is a good one. The what if. And these go very well with the reading. Verity, uncertainty, and courage. Our beliefs dictate our reality, and what we believe will be the lens through which we view the world. This lens may seem infallible, but it is not. Take time today to review your beliefs, making peace with the uncertainty that it brings. Making peace with the uncertainty. There's the actual card itself. Okay, and then we've got the adventure. Exploration, apprehension, and fulfillment. Today is the day to try something new, explore just for fun, and be a bit more daring. Do not let apprehension keep you from your new adventure. That is so important. Do not let apprehension keep you from your new adventure. The feeling that will fade, that feeling will fade, but the wonder that is to be found will surely not. So not only are they kind of saying, obviously, your beliefs, to work on your beliefs and all of that, but I think they're also saying to just stop overthinking and put yourself in an energy of action, put yourself in an energy of exploration and just doing it. You know already that this next step is coming. You know already that you want this next step, but the fear is really in whether or not this next step is going to get you anything. And Spirit wants you to analyze that, address that, put yourself out there and let the universe also show you what there is, And simultaneously, they're kind of saying, like, if you constantly think that you're not, that if you're constantly in a fear of where to put your energy into, and then you're not putting your energy consciously in things that you want, you're not getting back those things that you want, if that makes sense. So while you consciously sit there, or while you're in there in fear and going back and forth and contemplating and thinking, what if, the universe is still moving. The energy is still going. The things are still happening, if that makes sense. So they're kind of saying simultaneously, like while you fear, you're missing out on time that could bring these things in faster, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind, right? But I wish you all the best, pal number 2. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helps. Bye.